Hey everyone, welcome back to Alf's Mustang Garage. Today we're back on our 66 Fastback Mustang doing the 6-cylinder to 289 conversion. So today we're back on the rear axle that we built for this. We're going to assemble the rear brakes on this car. If you're doing a V8 conversion, it's going to be advised to get an 8-inch or 9-inch rear differential. We're kind of going with a factory setup 8-inch and the 5 lug axles, and we're going to just set up our brakes. So what we've done so far is we got some original 8-inch V8 backing plates. I had to get these off eBay because I don't think these are being reproduced. Your wheel cylinders you can pick up at most of your local auto parts stores. The brake shoe links, I did have to get these from National Parts Depot, so we went ahead and bolted this in. You can use the bolts probably from the 6-cylinder axle, or in our case we just bought new bolts to mount the wheel cylinder in place. A little bit of lube on the brake shoe pin, and we are now ready to assemble our rear brake shoe assemblies. Okay, so the first thing that we kind of like to do is we have a little bit of brake lube that we put on these contact points here. What's that stuff you're holding there, Justin? Oh yeah, it's just like kind of genetic brake caliper grease, and that's just kind of where your shoes will just kind of like naturally pivot right there. So we just kind of dab a little bit. Don't put too much on there. Like, you don't want this stuff getting into your shoes if you put crazy amounts. So just do a little bit of daub on these contact points, like what he's doing here. So park brake cable, we already have that looped in there. We went ahead and got new cables. Not a requirement when converting, but we're doing lots of work to this car. Okay, so we like to kind of just put the front shoe on first with the anchor pin. Now they are different. The shoes on front to back are different. So the best way to tell is the smaller shoe goes to the front. Just for comparison's sake, the rear shoe will just have like a lot more contact material on it, whereas the front primary shoe is what they would refer to that as. Just kind of doesn't have as much shoe material. Okay, so he's got his anchor pin through the back side with the spring and the washers in place there. So now that shoe is on and ready for the next one. Your rear shoe or secondary shoe gets the park brake lever. Okay, I will list parts and links in the description as to where you can get this stuff for V8 stuff, because it is going to be different on a V8 versus a 6-cylinder. So it's going to go in that top hole right there. Your spring kit should come with a little horseshoe clip. It needs to go on, and then you need to pinch it with a nice set of needle nose pliers or suitable pliers.
That are non-magnetic. There we go.
There we go. So you just kind of like pinch it like that, and that'll hold that in place. Okay, before we move forward, you watch us just put that horseshoe clip on, but it might be hard to kind of tell, but there's like a spring washer or a beveled washer that goes first and then the horseshoe clip. It just kind of keeps like a little bit of tension on there, so it's not like sloppy. They're tricky to do. They're a pain to do. I'm sorry I didn't film it. It was a 2-person operation, but like that's how it goes. And then you put your horseshoe clip on.
Wait a second.
So your retainer pin just kind of goes from the back side. Attach your park brake mechanism.
Maybe. There it is.
Maybe. There she goes.
There it is.
I understand this is extremely awkward to do brakes while a camera is like right in your face, so I apologize. There's a retainer, a spring, and another retainer. Now, I know they make a kind of unique tool, but if you have really nice snap-on pliers like Justin does, it's a little easier. Just gonna compress the spring, turn the washer, and it just locks into place. Okay, so here's our park brake link, only for the rear shoes. These, I'll post a link in the description. It's manufactured by ACP, and it comes with a little spring on there, and it's going to go in between your primary and secondary shoes. It links up here and over here on this side. Okay, and a little spring mechanism kind of goes more towards the front, so just kind of link that up in there. Before you get all your other springs in, you're going to want to get that park brake link in there. What that does is, as you pull on the park brake cable, it'll transfer, movement to the other shoe. That way it kind of, it'll spread both shoes open when you activate your park brake. Okay, so once you're at this point, you're like ready to throw on your springs. So you usually have two different colors. When you buy a spring kit, you can get the nice concourse kits, I'm sure, from National Parts Depot. You can also get these from your local parts stores. The yellow one is going to be the secondary shoe. The blue or green, because the factory ones were green, is going to be the primary shoe spring. Okay, now primary shoe is always facing the furthest to the front. Secondary is furthest to the rear. So that's how those are going to go. Now let me show you how these go on. You're going to go right into that hole here. Your fancy dancy spring tool is going to go on the anchor. It's super easy, I tell you.
As long as you don't miss.
As long as you don't hit the cameraman in the face.
Oh my gosh.
You want my Craftsman tool?
No, because I have one of those. I was
Is this a new snap-on tool?
It is, but the problem is the angle. See?
Oh, I see. It's the angle. Okay. Okay. And just like that, it's super easy. Okay. So on your anchor pin, there is from the factory like an anchor plate. There's like a retaining plate. Now, for some weird reason, most of the cars I come across like have that missing. Now, you can order them from National Parts Depot. I'm gonna go back in and like order that and get that on this car. But I did want to like mention it before there's just that guy that's gonna tell me like everything I'm doing wrong, and I'm sure that's unavoidable anyways. But we are gonna like that would go first. And then your cable would go second here, but you want to like make sure you get your little cable on there. Okay, primary shoe goes on just like that, piece of cake. Okay, don't forget your park brake. I'm sorry, not park brake, your self-adjuster cable. Self-adjuster cable. And then you have the little guide for the cable that goes in. And then the secondary shoe. The secondary shoe spring.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, just a little tip that we like to do. After we install, we like to kind of resize them, because when you stretch them on, it kind of stretch a little bit. I just kind of like doing that. It's just a thing. Okay, so now we have a self-adjuster ready to rock and roll. So the self-adjuster mechanism, I do dab a little bit of that grease in there. I see a lot of these that get seized up over time, and you want this to turn nice and smooth. So we're gonna put that on there, and typically we run them all the way to the smallest setting, and then you can install it in the bottom of your brake shoes. You're gonna put a little grease on the very end. There you go. Am I in your way?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say I can move the other side if you want. Okay, so that self-adjuster cable just kind of links into your plate right there. Put your spring on. And that spring's gonna go up in that same location. Okay, so we like to do that first and then put the adjuster in place. Now these are going to be different left or right, just so you know.
Actually, that's not bad. If you do get confused, they put an R and an L.
Ah, there you go.
Because the threads are different.
Yeah, like one side has right-hand threads and the other side has left-hand threads. And then as far as installing it, just make sure your wheel goes underneath this little contact tab. Because the way this is supposed to work is if you kind of like roll backwards a little bit and stomp on the brakes, this is supposed to spring down and turn this wheel. That's how that's supposed to work. Okay, so that's all the components. That's your shoes, that's your springs. The only thing we don't have in place here is like that anchor plate retainer that I mentioned. We're gonna go back in after I order those up and put that in. But again, most cars that I see like don't actually have it. It's definitely something that isn't gonna hinder the safety of your brake operation. So now, let's throw a drum on there. And now you gotta adjust them. Okay, so with adjusting, this might be a little tricky to kind of teach over video, but what we do is we turn this adjuster out like a little bit at a time, and we set the drum on, and we're trying to feel for a slight drag. We don't want it to drag too hard, and obviously we don't want it to be too loose, because what you're doing when you're adjusting this is you're spreading the bottom of your shoes out, so that way it doesn't like put a preload contact on the drum, but it gets them closer to the drum. That way there's no delay and no soft pedal going on. So this is kind of like a by feel thing. And then the final adjustment, we'll actually bolt the wheel on and torque it down. And that is where we'll actually adjust them through this sight window. There's a little rubber plug in the bottom of the backing plate, and you'll insert like a flathead screwdriver or the correct tool to turn that adjuster wheel, and then do the final adjustment after the wheels are bolted on. Okay, well, I think that concludes our rear V8 drum brake assembly. Most of you probably are aware of these, but if you're doing drum brakes for the first time, it's nice to kind of see a visual of how all that goes together. So if you found the video helpful, give us a thumbs up. Those little things do go a long ways when it comes to, continuing to make videos which are, helpful for you guys. If you want to follow us along, in particular like this car that we're doing the whole 6-cylinder to V8 conversion on, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and you can follow us along there. So until next time, we'll catch you next time.